going on, everybody? Welcome to Apocalypse Movies, and this is a little something different that we do. This is our review of the book Lost Stars, the Star Wars canon book written by Claudia Gray. This is kind of a spin-off episode of the Padawan podcast. I am Jacob Bartley, and I'm joined by Keith Barnes. How you doing, man?
Great. I can't wait to talk about this book.
Yeah, as you know, us here at Apocalypse Movies, we love Star Wars. Like, it's our favorite movies. Like, all of us, we love Star Wars. It's kind of what brings us together in a way. So, and we read all canon stuff. We read comics, we read books, we watch the TV shows, everything.
Encyclopedias.
And one of the highest rated books among all of them is Lost Stars, written by Claudia Gray. The first audiobook I ever did was Bloodline by Claudia Gray, and I've done about 8 audiobooks, and Bloodline is still my favorite.
Mine too.
But this one is high up there. I absolutely adored Lost Stars. It is amazing. Claudia Gray is an incredible writer. I kind of want her to work on some storyboards for some movies or something like that. I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, so basically, Lost Stars was released back in September of 2015, and I have a little bit of synopsis. It's not really a synopsis for the story, but it's kind of a state of the galaxy leading into what we get set up for in Lost Stars. So I'm going to go ahead and read that right now. So 8 years after the fall of the Old Republic, the Galactic Empire now reigns over the known galaxy. Resistance to the Empire has been all but silenced. Only a few courageous leaders such as Bail Organa of Alderaan still dare to openly oppose Emperor Palpatine. After years of defiance, the many worlds at the edge of the Outer Rim have surrendered. With each planet's conquest, the empires might grow even stronger. The latest to fall under the Emperor's control is the isolated mountain planet Jelocan, whose citizens hope for a prosperous future even as the Imperial Starfleet gathers overhead. Now, our two main characters in this book, Thane Kyrell and Sienna Ree, are from this planet of Jelocan, so that's kind of where it's all set up. So let's jump right into it, Keith. Your overall impression of Lost Stars, and where does it stand among all the books, in your opinion?
First of all, I'm glad to hear you say Jellicans. It's actually, I didn't do audio, I read it.
Oh,
so I've been like,
it's Jelocan. See, that's the good thing with the audiobooks. You kind of get the names and the stuff. Yeah, it's literally Jelocan.
Jelocan, okay.
Yeah, like,
good to know, okay.
Like, if it was like in a dictionary, it'd be Jello, like Jello, and then can.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Alright, good. Well, the first book that I read was also Bloodline. So, I heard a lot of good stuff about this book. I liked it.
Oh, okay.
I liked it.
Love it, huh?
I did not love it. I had some issues with it. Overall, I mean, it's a good read. And Claudia Gray, I mean, she's got a great, for this being, I believe, was her first Star Wars.
Her first Star Wars book,
She knows the Star Wars universe. She's a good Star Wars.
The way she writes characters, too.
She does the characters very well. Even better so in Bloodline, which we'll talk about later. But this one, you can tell she knows there's a lot of the events from the original trilogy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She covered pretty well. I did have some issues with some of that though, but some of the characters' inclusions in those moments. But we'll get to that. But overall, it's good. It's a good read, very good read.
Okay, so for me, it's not my favorite. It's not in my top 3, but it's one of the best. I think the writing is incredible, and that goes to Claudia Gray. She's an amazing writer in general. It makes me kind of want to read her other stuff. Like, what did she do before Star Wars?
Yeah.
Like, she's an amazing writer. But I thoroughly enjoyed this because it's about these two characters, about Thane Kyrell and Sienna Ree. They are the focus of this book, and it's like sharp focus on these two characters and they kind of go through this journey of the original trilogy. So they're kids, or shortly after Emperor Palpatine takes over the galaxy, and it jumps right into it. I love the opening when they first meet, when they're little kids, and how they're both in love with piloting, and how they both want to serve the Empire because that's all they really know. They don't think the Empire's evil when they're young kids, you know?
Well, they get introduced, it starts off with the Empire Day or something like
Empire
that.
Day. And they meet Tarkin in there, which is one of the side characters. And it's really cool how they meet Tarkin when they're younger, and then how Tarkin, I think Sienna comes into contact with him again, and Tarkin's like, I'm going to keep my eye on you too.
Well, he had a great line when he met them. He spoke to, I guess, the little officer that was with him.
Oh,
yeah. Like, see, that's... sometimes you need to use the lash, but sometimes it's better to lure them in as well.
Do you know what? So Tarkin has a brief couple cameos in this book.
Yeah.
But you know what it did for me? It made me see Tarkin in a different light as not being evil.
A monster, but he was a great...
Yeah, just like, it made me... It humanized him.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I liked Tarkin in this book.
Yeah, I did too.
And it seemed like he, like, cared about these kids in a way, you know? So, I really enjoyed that. I just loved the storytelling in this book. Like, I wasn't bored. I liked the young adult aspect of it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of, like... You know what it reminded me of? Of Harry Potter, in a way.
I'm glad you said that.
The storytelling and how they're young.
Yeah.
Because they label this as a young adult novel, and it definitely is.
It is.
And all right, so and also there's the romance is there's a heavy element in this book. I don't necessarily like romance in Star Wars or superhero stuff, but I like the romance between these two characters. I liked it because it wasn't like because they were friends first.
Yeah.
And they fell in love. I hate when people meet and they're automatically in love. It's a huge problem with me. Like even in movies that I love, like Baby Driver or like you know or stuff like that or The Big Sick, the characters, they meet instantly. They're in love. I hate that honestly. So these characters fell in love over time.
Yeah, it was
they
developed.
grow to appreciate each other. That's what I really appreciated about this book. And then there's the larger stuff going on with the big scale of the galaxy and the rebellion. I just thought it tied the original trilogy together so well and showed a different perspective of it. And I didn't have many negatives. We'll get into some negatives. Well, you obviously have some, so let's jump into that. What problems did you have with this book?
All right. Well, number one, we mentioned all the different events covering the original trilogy. That each one, it felt a little kind of Forrest Gumpy.
You think so?
Where everything that happened, like all the stuff like we love about
it covered too much time.
And
you think?
Well, it covered it. Well, that's one thing. It covered. I mean, there's a lot of big jumps.
Oh, it definitely,
Where it goes from, they're 8, all of a sudden they're 13, now they're 18, now they're. Which I mean, I get.
They have
they're trying to progress
that,
through.
Yeah,
you know, I get that, but every major thing. Okay, so for example, like the Death Star situation, where the battle at what was it? Oh my gosh.
There's Hoth and there's Endor.
The first when they blew up Alderaan.
Oh, okay.
So the one character which we'll get to, Jude.
Nat. Oh, Jude, yeah.
She's the girl that discovered the flaw, and so when you see that scene in A New Hope, where the rebels may have found the flaw in it, she's the one that discovered that. It's like,
what's wrong with that?
No, I don't know.
What's wrong with that?
It's like every time when we watch that scene, that's when we gotta think, that girl from Lost Stars, she's the one that found that.
I think that's kind of cool. And you know what's funny? Claudia Gray is not just allowed to do that. She didn't decide. She had to go through Pablo Hidalgo, the story team over at Lucasfilm had to approve all of this. So it's not Claudia Gray making that decision. She had to ask them, can I do that? And you know? And you know she's writing this while watching the original trilogy.
Absolutely. I think she said that too. I think she could talk about it.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
In an interview I saw.
But, I love Claudia Gray. Like she said she wants to write a Qui-Gon Jinn book. Like that would be awesome.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. I can't wait for her new Leia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, she handled Bloodline so damn well.
And I hope she gets kind of into Alderaan a little bit in that one. But
so this kind of tarnished the original trilogy for you in a way.
I don't want to say tarnished, but it just just in reading it, I thought, okay, really? So wait,
okay, I can see.
So she was there. Really? Okay.
Well, think about this though for a second. There are people present during all of those events.
Sure.
Why not? Why can't these two characters be some of those people that were present in during those events?
I thought about that. There are thousands of people on these Star Destroyers, so there's no reason to. I mean, you're right. I've thought about that. I've definitely thought about that. But really, my biggest negative for this book, I hate to say it, Sienna Reed.
Really?
Her.
Wow.
Some of her decision making as a character. She made decisions that were just she bordered on being unlikable to me.
I understand that, and I think that was done on purpose.
I think it was. I actually thought about it driving here.
I think we were supposed to side with Thane on it during most of this book.
I think Thane was us.
Yeah, pretty much.
For the most part. Although I have some issues with him as well, but because she really, and I think it was a tough job to do, to have her border on being just on the edge of kind of being a villain. To where she did a good job of setting up that for where she comes from is her people is very honor bound society where she comes from, and that's just their honor is like everything to them. She really hammers that home throughout this book, And Sienna Reed she just to the end, she holds on to that like so firmly, even when you're reading it and you're along with the character going, what is wrong with you?
She eventually has a turn though near the end of the book.
A little bit, but she still kind of was holding on to that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was like, are you stupid?
Yes.
Like certain moments, but I think that's the genius of Claudia Gray. I think she was trying to create that conflict, like, and make the reader or the listener dislike her or question her theory. So that's what my next point was. How did you feel about the individual characters? So you had a problem with Sienna. What about Thane? Did you like Thane or no?
I like that Thane did see early on when they blew up a planet. That's when he finally.
I know, right?
And for him, it was like, okay.
I get what you're saying. Like, oh, it's for the greater good. That's how Sienna saw it in her eyes.
And as people were saying to her, well, if they must have done it for a reason. Like, and you know, I know the Empire.
No, you're right.
A lot of the Empire, the Emperor's propaganda machine. You get a lot of that in this book, where you can see it at work, where they're really convincing not just the galaxy, but the people in the Empire that the rebellion of the New Republic was bad, and the rebellion they're terrorists, and they do not have the greater good of the universe at heart. And I mean, the Empire's good. The Empire's here to serve, and we're here for the people. And these people seem to firmly believe it.
A lot of people believed that, though.
Oh, I know. Yeah. They hammered that home, but almost
too much,
cultish
a little bit.
It seemed like.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, I personally like both characters because I don't think we were supposed to necessarily like these characters. I just think they're real people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not real; they're fictional characters. But
yeah,
I mean,
but it felt like
in this world, they're real people.
Yeah.
So they're not perfect. They're gonna have their flaws,
Sure.
and I think that's what Claudia Gray was trying to portray. Like, Sienna was almost trying to come up with an excuse as to why she can believe the Empire is good. You know, of course, and bringing that up, the thing that not necessarily bothered me, but I questioned was Nash Windrider. Remember him?
Yeah.
He's the friend of Thane, even though he tried to bang his girlfriend after he thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he's from Alderaan.
Right.
His planet got blown up.
Yeah.
And that made him more loyal to the Empire.
Even more. And
He's straight for the Empire.
Yeah.
Straight. He's pissed when he finds out Thane is still alive.
Yeah.
If he saw Thane, he would kill him by the end of the book.
Yeah.
And Alderaan is the planet, his hometown. If somebody blew up my hometown and killed all my family, I would leave the Empire instantly. Yeah. Even though there's a threat. Like, Thane found a way to escape from the Empire, and it wasn't even his hometown.
Right.
His morals just made him leave the Empire. Yeah. And Nash Windrider, I think he was meant to be a dick, but I'm like, damn, they blew up your hometown and you're still, like, fighting for the... He almost became more loyal after that.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense to me. But I think, I think it was done on purpose. It was supposed to show, like, that these people become so loyal to the Empire no matter what they do, and they're kind of brainwashed. Palpatine has brainwashed this whole, part of the galaxy to kind of be on his side.
Well, and Sienna moved up so rapidly from the time she graduated from...
Well, I think they explained that very well because the herd was thinned after the Death Star was blown up.
You're right, but I'm talking about from just throughout the whole her time in the Empire. From the time she graduated from the Academy,
because she got promoted, and she even said, like, this would never happen.
We must be really struggling.
This would never happen if the Death Star wasn't blown up. We didn't lose so many soldiers. And then the second Death Star gets blown up, and she gets promoted again. So, and she's the captain of one of the Star Destroyers.
She gets she's on command.
So okay, and I'm actually surprised that you didn't necessarily love this book. I didn't know your thoughts, but it's good to get a different perspective because I really liked it. It's not my favorite, like I said. It's probably not even in my top 3, but I really, really did enjoy it. So I have some big moments that I wrote down. So we have the Hoth moment. I thought that was pretty cool, seeing Thane participate in the Hoth battle. Like I enjoyed that. What did you think about the Hoth battle in their perspective?
That was my biggest
Really? Wow, this is so interesting. I'm curious as to why it bothered you.
So he's the guy that. Okay. This Battle of Hoth is going on. I did like when he finally kind of joined the rebels and his little group that he was with, like Dak. Was there. The one. the Twilight guy. I can't think of. Or that may have been later on.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the girls who was in the Empire, who was Sienna's friend, joined the
other
rebels
roommate, the
too.
hippie girl that kind of she joined, and that was a cool moment.
Yeah.
But just okay, so Sienna's up on the Star Destroyer during the Battle of Hoth, the beginning of the Empire Strikes Back, basically also alongside in this book, and she's kind of watching with essentially a live feed, I guess, of
the battle, and she figures out
she sees this
Thane.
one speeder, that's flipping around and doing all those maneuvers. Oh, that must be Thane.
But no, I think they explain that very well. How she would know his
recognizes
flying
flying
style.
Yeah.
I think they explained that. Honestly,
they did. But just when I watch Empire Strikes Back,
that's just my opinion, though.
He's the guy that figured out how to take down an AT-AT because he's the only one that knows where their weak points are. Like, no, Luke did it. Luke figured it out. He did the tow cable thing, and that's
but they show Luke didn't learn that from him. Luke did it on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it though. So I already talked about it, but I saw Alderaan being destroyed and how that affected. I think that's when Thane turned, right?
He turned when he went to. They sent him to this planet to.
But he already knew that.
That's when he
that
first
was after
started.
Alderaan blew up.
After Alderaan,
and he was like, "I'm out."
He saw the slave. He saw that slave.
Oh, the slave thing really turned him,
and that's what got him. And then that's when he ditched. So that's when I was like, okay, maybe he's.
So what did you think about Nash, real quick? Like his character, almost he became this evil character.
Yeah, it was,
after they blew up his home planet.
That was very. You mentioned Harry Potter. That was like a straight up Harry Potter thing. Like that was.
This book reminds me of Harry Potter a lot, and he's almost the Malfoy.
That's it. Yes, exactly right. And just in the Imperial Academy, it was straight up Hogwarts.
All right, so I'm kind of scared what your response to this next big moment is for me, but I absolutely love this because it explains something for me. So after the first Death Star gets blown up, Vader goes spinning into space. Sienna and another officer are the ones that go get him. I always wonder, where the hell did Vader go after that? How did he get back to the Empire? Like, what happened to him after that? Sure. I kind of like that this was explained, honestly. And I like that moment when he gets on board of the... on board and talks to her.
Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. I'll pilot the ship.
Yeah, he didn't want anyone to see him in that moment of vulnerability. And he didn't trust them either, so he's like, you guys stay back here. I'm going to fly. I think that's so Vader, honestly.
And from then on, he... puts both of them everywhere he goes
because he
gets them on the Devastator and then on the
honestly I'm surprised he didn't just kill him right away. Honestly.
I think they said that. I think that one of them said
I liked that moment. Did you?
Well, okay, my problem with that is she's face to face with Darth Vader. And she still doesn't get that she's on the bad guy side.
But she doesn't know who he is.
She said she felt it. She said she felt it. She could feel the same thing when she saw the Emperor later on. She could feel almost see the evil coming out of them, and she
doesn't know what he's done. She doesn't know who Darth Vader is.
Yeah.
So but feeling the evil, it's kind of like when you get a bad vibe from somebody, because she's not force sensitive. So, I really enjoyed that moment. So the thing with me is they focus so much on the characters for me, and I really enjoy that. And they made you care about these characters, or at least for me, they made me care about these characters, right? So when the action happened involving these characters, it was so tense, and it made me really, really invested. There were two moments where I felt this tension. There's a space battle with the X-Wings and TIE Fighters.
Yes, that was
when Nash finds out that Thane is still alive, and Sienna's trying to save him.
Gets in between them.
That was intense. I wasn't sure one of them were going to make it out alive during that.
And her superior told her, let one of them go.
Exactly. I thought that whole thing was great.
That was cool.
And then that's how they find out where the rebel base is, I believe. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, because then the entire Imperial fleet gathers out, and she's like, what's
and then another part where the action was elevated because of the story and the characters is when Nash is trying to save her at the end, when she's trying to commit suicide and crash her Star Destroyer, and they have to fight, and he saves her. So... when Thane,
because they were going to try to take over.
I just like the dialogue between them, and
they had to fight.
She was trying to save him, and he was trying to save her, and the way he saves her, the
which is literally the cover right here.
If I don't care about those characters, then the action is meaningless. So I enjoyed that moment because I cared about what happened to these characters.
And that was over Jakku, and I believe
the Battle of Jakku, it's awesome.
Is this Star Destroyer? I think is the one that Rey is.
I'm not sure about that because
she crashed it.
If you've read the Aftermath trilogy,
true,
it's a different Star Destroyer.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So you know what's so cool about this? That we have the Battle of Jakku, right? And we have the events taking place in the Aftermath, and then we have these events. So they were going on at the same time. It's just so cool.
It seems like this is, from what I've read of that, I think this is like right near the end of the battle.
Yeah. So I didn't know. I knew before I read or listened to the book, I knew that they were involved in the original trilogy. I didn't know they were at the Battle of Jakku.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really cool. And another moment for me, you probably didn't like this, but for me, because I did like the love story, the fortress and how they, and I kind of saw this coming, but how they go back when they're adults and they make love at the fortress. I thought that was pretty sweet. Yeah, honestly.
I was surprised to read that.
Well, there's a lot of like, edgy stuff, and I know you have daughters who read this,
and they read it, and they read it before me.
There's some edgy stuff in this book.
I read it. I don't know. Oh my god, they read this.
Do you want them reading?
They actually went there on a Star Wars.
Yeah. So I thought that moment was pretty sweet, and then the one thing that shocked me was the ending. I thought either both of them or one of them were gonna die, because they left this kind of open ending. You can continue with these characters in a book, in a comic, in a movie. We don't know.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the ending that she's locked up and he's trying to get her out and they like touch hands through the force field and stuff? Like I thought I was surprised by the ending. I don't know if I liked it or loved it or hated it, but I was surprised by it.
The ending seemed a little. I don't know that we'll see these characters again.
Not in a movie, but I mean, they left it open.
They definitely did. So it certainly, not in the movie for sure. I think another novel. I think we did kind of get a little set up, some seeds of the First Order with Nash Windrider. And that because he goes way out into some nebula, and I will avenge you, Sienna, because he thinks she's dead. And so there's some. I guess
one thing that did bother me is him liking Sienna. Like I wasn't about that at all. Like, come on, man! You're such a slimy guy trying to bang one of your best friends that you think is dead. Yeah. Anyways, so let's wrap this up. Just last thoughts on Lost Stars. Obviously, you didn't like it as much as I did, but go ahead.
I liked it. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Out of a score, yeah.
Yeah, if I was going out.
That's not bad.
So
you don't think it's bad?
No, I don't think it's bad at all. I just, like I said.
Well, the problem is a lot of people say it's their favorite Star Wars book.
Yeah,
and I think your expectations were too high.
Probably.
I think mine were too, because I don't even think it comes close to Bloodline, honestly.
Not at all.
Or Lords of the Sith.
Not at all. Although there are a couple characters from this book in Bloodline, which I thought was pretty cool. So.
Yeah,
but anyway, 7 out of 10. It's a good.
I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It's the book that made me care most about the main characters, honestly, because while I already knew Leia, so I don't count that as Bloodline being. It's the first book that introduced me to new characters that I cared so much about. Yeah. So I really, really liked it. I think it's a good read or a good listen because it's Claudia Gray and because she handles tension so well. And I think this is one of the better books. I definitely do recommend it. If I were to give it a score, I would probably give it an 8.5.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's I think it's a very solid book. Yeah. And I honestly would give Bloodline a 10, honestly. So if you want to like gauge it, I would give Bloodline a 10. I would give this an 8.5. Yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for our short review on Lost Stars. Keith Barnes, let them know where they can find you online, man.
Find me at Keith Barnes 79 on Twitter.
Oh, and I guess this is the first announcement. We figured out your Star Wars name.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And we'll probably talk about it on the Padawan podcast. Yeah. But it's Admiral Akbarnes.
Admiral Akbarnes.
Yeah, yes. And I am Grand Moff Bartley. I wish that could fit on a Twitter handle. It's one figure too long.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, geez.
It's one figure too long. But my Twitter handle is JacobBartley_. You can find me there, and you can find me on this YouTube channel. Please subscribe and hit that like button if you like this review and if you like all things film. Also, let us know in the comment section what you think of Lost Stars, or if you haven't read it, you just got spoiled. Yeah. But if you haven't, let us know if you're looking forward to the book.
Read it.
Again, thank you all for watching this. Until next time, take care.